good morning. We're here in Medford, and we're with somebody who appeared in this week's Medford Citizen, Tony Sergi, and he's probably got the only real garden farm in Medford, and we're up here on the hillside at his garden, which is right beside his house. Tony?
Yes.
I want to thank you for taking the time to be on the Ziggy show this morning and to take the time to show us all the different tomatoes and beans, and you got a special pepper here, doesn't he? Take a look at these peppers. They're really different. These came from where, Tony?
These long peppers here come from Renato, Sicily, by Mount Etna.
Right near the volcano.
They grow at the foothills of the mountain. And then we have peppers here. They're right there. That comes from Santa Stefano, Sicily, my father's town. I seen them growing over there, and I asked the guy. It was a Christmas time when I was there this year. I mean, just 6 months ago. And I got some samples.
Are these sweet or are these?
No, these are all hot peppers.
Very hot.
I have hot peppers. These are hot, but I do have hot peppers. And over there, the Hungarian hots, which we raise in the United States. These are Italian, over here, Italian basil, which they call Napolitana basil. These are from Naples. And then we have basil here, Genovese basil, which they make pesto, and it comes from Lucca, Italy.
So in other words, you've got a connection in Italy to get the seeds and
when I travel, I visit the farms and talk to different people and find out where they get their seeds, and I buy the seeds over there. These here are special, right here. Take a look at them. These are expressway tomatoes.
Expressway tomatoes?
Yes, they grew on top of the expressway on the bridge just before you get the South Station Tunnel. Right across from the Four Seasons restaurant. On hot days and everything, we used to go down there and pour water on them on the way going to Mansfield. We nursed them all last summer. So we finally picked these tomatoes. I made the seeds, and they're right here now. They're very large. This is a small portion of it, but we do have a farm in Beaumont, Massachusetts, which we have 100 plants up there, and we have another 50 to 75 plants in Marshfield, Massachusetts too. And then we have some in the neighborhood.
What's the advantage of this expressway tomato? Is it
Well, it grew on top of the bridge with no water, on concrete, and between the cracks.
Right between the cracks on the expressway.
Yeah, we don't know how they drought. No,
this wasn't right on the road. This was the piece that were above.
Right in the center island.
Right in the center
where the bumper
island.
guards are.
Amazing.
Where the safe was amazing. Nobody doesn't believe it. I talked to Professor Clark Nicklow at the university. He doesn't believe me.
So you really got a really
So
experimental
we got into it.
Here.
I made the seeds. I almost got killed because
you almost got killed.
Because it's only this wide, and the bumper guards like this. I got 1 foot on the edge with a curbstone, 1 foot there, and picking tomatoes at 11 o'clock at night, and guys are going 90 miles an hour beside me.
Boy, oh boy, that's something, huh? Tomatoes in the middle of the expressway.
And I do have some tomatoes.
Yeah, you got a lot of all in back
I
over
have
there.
cherry tomatoes right there.
Yeah.
This lady bought me a package of seeds from Essex, England.
So you got English cherry tomatoes.
English cherry tomatoes. And then there's the rest of them there. Now.
And what is that? What have you got most of the rows? Are those beans, Tony?
Those are Sicilian beans from Sicily. They grow to 6 to 10 inches long, and they're fabulous to eat. I'd rather eat them than a slice of steak.
They're like, are they like the Italian green bean?
They're Italian flat beans, except you're used to the Romano beans. These are they call Super Marconi beans. They're this long. See how nice the tomatoes are?
Oh, these are beautiful. Look at this here. If you can see this here, I don't know if you can see it through the fence. You can see the. My garden, I'm lucky. I got them, about a foot.
Come over here. Look at
okay.
See?
Wow, look at this here. If you can see this big tomato right in here. That looks like almost like a beefsteak tomato. Look at these over here. Boy, oh boy, this is in
I got some over there. See how nice
middle of July. Yeah, look at that one over there. Look at those 3 over there. Boy, oh boy. Now, do you have any special secret, any special fertilizer? Do you use
No,
like...
we use plenty of horse manure.
You use horse manure.
I
Okay,
compost
so it's a
it.
natural.
I
a
compost
natural
for New
fertilizer.
Year's, and the leaves from these trees are all
So you
ground
make a
up.
compost.
And I make manure and leaves, and I use lime and fertilizer, and it stays there, and it ages up, and then I get them to put it here.
Now with these beans, will they keep on going the whole
These,
summer?
These beans will go until the frost comes down.
Until the frost. So in other words, you can pick beans and more beans and
yeah,
and
these
continue.
beans here,
They don't die after the...
No, because my brother has got the farm, and he has enough room there because he raises all corn. And these beans, they go to the Beaumont farm. Because we have Syrian, Greek, and Armenian trade. And they go for these beans.
For these beans.
Yeah.
So you're
I don't sell them none around here, but I sell them at the farm.
You sell them at the farm.
Yeah,
so
my brother,
words,
I pick them from my...
You know, of course, the thing is, it's really different here with Tony is we're in Medford, and people remember back, like in the article here, was saying that there were mostly farms in Medford way back when, and you're sort of continuing that tradition.
Yes.
Right along, and you know, to have all of these, and then the way of the different plants that he has, and like cherry tomatoes from England and peppers from was it Sicily? And then you got the Hungarian peppers. So
then we have the regular cherry pepper, cherry tomatoes.
You got the regular cherries.
They're called basket pack.
Okay.
And right there between Cindy, you can see the artichoke.
And you
but
got
anyway,
artichoke.
I wanted to say most important.
Yeah.
We have a farm in Beaumont.
Yeah,
the lady used to own that farm, was born here, and this whole land in 1670 or something, and then in 1840 and 1850 sold 25 acres to Tufts University. See, and then.
So in other words, this land has been farmed.
Been farming by the Grace, or her name is. Well, they go by the name of Richardson as the family, because they're in the Richardson family. Elliot Richardson family. Okay. And they're cousins, first cousins. Well, she died, and she told me when she was a little kid, she was up on the hill here. They was to have a pond for the water, and she used to walk around here and everything. She graduated from Medford High School way back in
so
the
18... this land has been farmed since 1600s.
Oh, yeah.
So in other words, you are really the last real farm that's continued right here in Medford. Yeah. Isn't that, you know, I mean, this is something important.
Well, you see old fruit trees around the neighborhood. Yeah. Those were planted by a great-grandmother. Her
great-grandmother planted these fruit trees.
Yes.
Well, you know, you're continuing something that, you know, how many farms are there in Medford? This is the only farm. Well, and when I saw the story in the Medford Citizen, I said, you know, this would be a good thing.
Here,
okay.
See? Now, you see, this is Genoese basil. Now, the one over there I'm making seeds is Sicilian basil. It smells 10 miles away, you can smell it. Right. See, that's called profumo. See, and I have it over there. See, these are all Sicilian peppers. Italian flowers I bought from Italy. And we have 8 broccolis for us that my wife is going to cook.
You like broccoli?
And we make flowers for pasta.
Great.
See?
Well, you have a great garden here. I mean, really, this is...
No, see, now this is called Neapolitan tomato.
Okay, now you got Neapolitan. The other ones down, the other ones over here by the expressway.
Those are expressway. See, these are the tomatoes they grow in Naples. That they use for canning.
And these have what? They have like a thicker. Do they have a thicker, or they're thicker or something?
No, they're long.
Oh, they're like a plum.
They're long plums. They're called Samasano.
Samasano.
Yeah. Now these are the plums. See? Now these are different. They both come from Naples. And they use them for peeling and canning these tomatoes.
Are you ahead? Do you feel that you're ahead this year, better than last year?
No, we're just a little late this year.
A little late.
Kind of the cold spring we had. We are late.
Do you start any of these ahead of time in your house? You know, before?
No, right there I started.
You start them in like a...
Yeah, we start March 1st.
On that...
see, my brother come over with his son, and me and my son, we...
So you started in that, what do they call that?
Those are cold frame.
Cold frame.
These are all cold. I just planted this here yesterday.
They get that extra start.
Yeah, but see, we didn't figure we were going to have a cold spring. See?
Well, I'm telling you.
What? Yeah, in the basements where we start the pepper. The pepper you got to start
early
because the peppers want to hot. You can't grow peppers over here because it's solar heat. The tomatoes can do it, but you can't do it with peppers and eggplant.
Now, have you ever competed like for the biggest tomato? You know, you've seen
No.
you've never competed.
The,
You know, they always show one of those fertilizer companies.
Christine, Christine something, the head of the Department of Agriculture in Boston.
Yeah.
The woman who head of all the agriculture.
Mm-hmm.
And she's always after me to put my beans in, my tomatoes.
Because you know
they have it at Scully Square.
Oh, they at Scully Square.
They have a thing there, and
like a farmers market type thing.
Yeah, but they have there the contest of the tomatoes, the farmers, and then they have different areas, which I go to, because the farmers and they put their tomatoes to find out who produces the nicest tomato and everything.
Because you probably
no, I do not attend.
You've seen that ad on TV for one of those advertised, I don't know, Miracle Grow or someone of a. It says we have the biggest tomato. This fellow has the biggest cucumber.
Miracle Grow does not make it. You got to have horse manure.
Horse manure and
the
mulch
manure.
And turkey manure. There's a secret. Turkey manure.
Liquid.
Liquid.
I put it in the water and mix it.
And then you put it on like liquid fertilizer.
Just like fish emulsion. This is turkey emulsion. Same thing.
Same thing.
I haven't put any over here, but I would put it in here pretty soon.
Well,
to make it bigger and stronger plants.
Now these tomatoes here are about how far from getting...
These another 2 weeks they should be ready.
2 weeks.
These are what they call semi-determined tomatoes. That's what I think they are. I'm trying to get the professor over here to find out the story is on these tomatoes for me. But I'll eventually get them.
Well, I'm telling you.
And now if we walk inside, I'll show some of his peppers, because I got some of his peppers up the farm. And some days, if you want to come up the farm, we'll show you a big surprise.
Over in Belmont,
right near the Santa Maria Hospital. I grow, my brother takes away 50% of all the seedlings and bring them up the farm.
Great.
Because I have the facility.
Well, why don't we go? We'll see the other things, okay?
Okay.
Go back up there.
All right. Called loquat. It's an early fruit that comes in early spring, in April. See, it's a Japanese plum. See, and this is oleander, and this here it comes from Bruzia, Italy. See? Now my pride and joy is the pepper tree. These peppers are very hot. Like Tom says, it kicked you near to Boston. These are pepper trees. They go high and they're going to be loaded with peppers later on. But they make the peppers late in the fall. See? And these are berry moss pears, and this here is a Cortland apple. See, we raise little stuff for ourselves. And that's our Sergi Emblem farm. Sergi farm, because in Watertown, Massachusetts, and Belmont, we raise a lot of flowers, and my father had a greenhouse and everything. See? But now, we do still raise a lot of flowers. See? Yeah. And that's where we used to put that brand and all our best quality. Now you can see these are small.
Now these are the ones from.
These are from Sicily, from Renazzo, yes. See right here. See? Now these are the ones that come from my cousin's place in Sicily, right here. See? They're right here. See? These are from Sicily. See? These are all like zucchini squash for the house and cucumbers. These are Italian eggplant right here. They come reddish color and they're fantastic. See? Now, you know what these are? These are habanero hot peppers. These are the hottest peppers in the world. Right here. These are the hottest peppers. And eventually they'll go to Red Bones restaurant.
That's in where? In Davis Square?
In Davis Square, yeah. Well, up the farm we got 3 rows of peppers like this. 3 long rows, like they're about 150 feet long, and we raise it to his restaurant. See?
And here.
And those are the sashes that we put in the top that we raise our plants. Now see, my brother helps me out.
And now this is all beans in here?
And those are all beans.
All beans.
See the broccoli over there, and I'm making seeds out of fowlie beans. I'm making seeds.
And then you got another, this is another set of beans?
Yeah, these are beans. I put the wire in this morning, and I'm starting to put the string out. Oh, come down. See, and these are another English tomato. See?
So that you've got seeds from all over, really the world. You've got
Well,
plants here.
they come, they know I'm in the garden, and they come by. These are fig figs.
This
See all the nice
is the way a
figs?
fig looks right here.
Yeah, these are baby figs. This is wild anise, and you make sausages.
And then they use this flavoring for liquors too, right?
Yeah, anise. Now these are called super Wolfram. These are Old 21, the name of them.
Wow.
And they come out this year for the first time, and these are on trial.
Mm-hmm.
On trial.
And you're working with the
Clark
UMass? With
Yeah.
UMass Agriculture? I mean, you just look at these tomatoes.
Rosie,
Unbelievable.
go in the back room and get the picture of the tomato that's hanging in the wall.
You're
I'll
getting
show you
all
the
of that. Sure.
See? And these are right here. Now he told me to put them on a single string and a single vine. That's what I'm doing. See, and we're going to find out just what the story is.
Now, on average, how many pounds of tomatoes is
Well,
one of
this
these?
here will cut the production in half.
Yeah.
But I have to see if there's any disease or misforming in the tomatoes. I'll make out a report and I'll give it to
And these are kind of what, solid tomatoes?
Yeah,
like a beef steak?
these are regular tomatoes
Yeah.
for a long shelf life for the supermarket.
Long shelf life.
So, so I'll make up my report and when we have the fall meeting on the field station. Now this is called Nevadella, which is called a rubber like this. And this comes back in my father's house in Central Sterling System. This is an herb. I use it for cooking.
Yeah.
And beans and zucchini squash.
Looks good.
Yeah.
And what kind of a flavor is? What kind?
Well,
smells.
it's
I'm trying to think of the smell.
A very nice smell.
And they
I have hundreds of bees over here. A lot of bees come
bees
here.
here.
So
Okay. Now, the bees,
They,
very
pollinate.
necessary for pollinating everything.
they come here and they take care of the rest.
So this sort of attracts them to it, and
Yeah.
then they pollinate the
Yeah.
other plants.
Yeah. This is another trick that I use.
Mm-hmm.
See? And of course, this is sage. I don't know.
This is sage. This is
Yeah, the flowers are all over. So
yeah,
the people
but
don't-
this is the leaf.
Yeah, I got it from down here.
Okay, and of course the spice companies grind it up, right?
Yes.
And it looks like you got what
These are artichokes, but they'll be ready next year.
artichokes
Yeah.
next year, huh?
These are biannuals, I think they are.
Uh-huh.
Okay, take a look at my wife. Those are the Waltham tomatoes.
They look good, I'll tell you that.
He gave me the picture.
Unbelievable.
Those are those tomatoes right there.
Those are the ones that we just saw, huh?
Now, where did these tomatoes grow from, Tony? Did they come
Right
from
back
your yard?
here. Right in back.
Right in back. Wow.
And this is all what's it called? All basil. And I leave these basil. These going to seed. I leave here to attract the bees. See? I leave the fruit plants, let them go to seed, and the bees will come and they pollinate.
Now you'll sell the basil leaves as leaves, or do you sell them as plants? Or
No,
do
I
you
sell them as leaves.
as leaves.
Yeah,
Okay.
I sell the leaves.
Do you
Yeah.
dry them, or you just give
Yeah,
them?
see, I give them to my brother
Yeah.
at the farm. See, and I have some here
Well,
and some
basil
up there.
basil has become such a popular with all the
Yes.
pesto
Yes.
and other dishes, Italian dishes using basil.
Yeah, so I
this
use
has become
I use
very,
it,
very popular.
this right here and this right here. I use it for can. I can 100 jars of tomatoes.
Uh-huh.
I put up 100, 125 jars of tomatoes. And I use majority of this basil. I'll be using all of this, and what I have up the farm.
Wow. Well, I tell you, this is really something, right here in Medford
See,
to
down here
have
making
this
seeds.
garden.
See all the bees down? If you look closely.
Yeah, the bees
They're
are
loaded with bees, so I'm going to have a good, let's say 90% germination.
germination.
See, and this is organic growing. You see, there's no poison.
Mm-hmm. You're really
There's
an
no
organic.
pesticide.
You're
No, this is the way my father operated.
Your father did it
I'm going
this
to
way?
base it what
Right.
my father did.
So you really are, you're an organic type of farmer. You don't
Well,
use.
they say organic, but we never heard that word before. My father never heard that
Yeah.
word.
Well, he used natural
All natural
things to fertilize his garden,
Yeah.
right?
Yes.
Well, this is. I mean, it's.
He used
it's really
rotenol, he used nicotine dust, which comes from
Anything,
the
right?
tobacco.
And
That's natural to kill the
Mhm.
the beetles and the cucumbers and squash. See, that's what he was.
So he really and truly, he had these type of gardens, but he didn't rely on any
No.
kind of fertilizer, the bag fertilizer, or
He
any of these
uses
things.
very little. We use very little.
Very little. So it's primarily like an organic garden, all natural. It uses you use the
See, you got to use some fertilizer.
some, yeah. But you were saying
not as much. You
right.
You cut it down by 2/3.
Okay. So, but you're using manure. And
Lots of manure.
Lots of manure, and then you're using the turkey.
Turkey liquid. I got it right up
Turkey
there.
liquid.
I got them in the barrels. I put
And
a
then
lot of water.
then
I stir it up and I put it in.
And you put it in. So
I
all
go
this
between the rows.
all this makes for really gigantic plants.
Yes.
Well, I'm telling you.
Well, you can see it right there. That has
Great.
liquid turkey manure.
Wow, really growing.
Those 3 plants.
Great. Well, I want to thank you, Tony,
Okay.
for letting us come here this morning
Well,
and show us this garden. Probably the last garden in
That probably
Medford, and
will.
this piece of land has been farmed since 1690.
60, 70 around
It
there.
has been a constant growing of
Right,
different crops on this area, and of course the rest, like you were saying, those other acres became Tufts University on the
Yeah,
other side of the
20
hillside.
He sold them
But this
25
piece
acres
is,
of land.
this piece of land is still growing food
Fruit.
for people 300 years later.
That's right, and everybody in the neighborhood here has backyard gardens.
Uh-huh.
There's a lot of people come over here, they get a few. They only get 6 tomato plants a dozen because they haven't got a large yard
Large
like I
yard,
have.
yeah.
But they all have tomatoes. All the hillside, all the ways down, they still do
That's
gardening. Yeah, home gardening.
Well, it just goes
and
to
this
show
what this
that
is. This is home gardening.
the soil is really rich, and it can really do something with the plants, and you're feeding a lot of people.
That's what happens when you retire and you
When
have a
you
hobby.
Well, I want to thank
That's
you
good.
again for letting us come here this morning, and we'll be right back in a few minutes. Right, there's a
And you
temple,
go right beside the temple,
and there's a
you
farm
take
there.
and you take a second right.
And
It
you
says
sort of
Glen
come up.
Road.
You sort of come up like this, and then
Yeah,
you
you
can
go
turn
up.
to the left to go
No,
down to Belmont.
Left, and then you take a right, and it's the last.